Take a break or burn out. Either way, there will be a break, and honestly, I'd much rather choose the option that will restore me rather than cause me to crumble. Welcome back to the Transaction Care Podcast. I am your host and resident care coordinator, Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lily like the flower because we are learning and growing together. My goal with each episode is to demystify the business of real estate and leave you empowered to start your journey today. Now let's get the show started. I just got back from a beautiful trip to Mexico with some of my best friends, and this was the first time in a while where I allowed myself to do nothing for 4 whole days. Yes, I did put in the extra time prior to leaving, just to make sure everything was in order. I currently am not managing a lot of files or a large inventory of transactions, so I was able to schedule emails, do my audits, requests, and such prior to me leaving. And honestly, I was very fortunate to have a bulk of my closings be closing that week while I was out of town. So there was very minimal maintenance necessary for me to tend to while I was away. So with all of that said, today's conversation is simply a check-in, a self-love session, whatever you want to call it. I want to check in with you. How are you doing? How is your energy? How often are you auditing your life and not just your work? How is your breathing? 5 minutes can shift your whole life. And of course, a 4-day trip out of the country is ideal, but those trips can be far and few. So what will you do in the meantime and in between time? That is the real question. Every day, and yes, I mean every day, daily. Do your best to be intentional with the amount of time you spend on you. Y-O-U. You. Some ways I do this is by starting my day off with gratitude. What are you thankful for? If you haven't already, list one thing you're grateful for. One of my favorite things to be grateful for is life, breathing, blinking. The smallest things. It could be big, it could be small. But just getting in the habit of starting my day off with gratitude. It may seem basic or even trivial, but this simple habit can improve your mood, your self-love, and just create ripples and impact everything around you. Don't wait for a vacation to acknowledge the amazingness that life has to offer today. So, a major part of being able to maintain the many elements of my life is carving out time just for me to pray, journal, work out, and more recently, meditation. How many of you use the Calm app? Now, this is not sponsored. This isn't a paid messaging or partnership. I recently just downloaded the Calm app. One, because it was free through my insurance. Shout out to Kaiser. 2, one of my goals this year was to incorporate meditation into my daily routine and rituals. 3, finally, is to just have more access to tools to improve my mental health. I do have a link in the description if you want to sign up. Believe it or not, I learned how to breathe again. No Tony Braxton. Using the Calm app. And even though I had my 3 goals, or 3 reasons why I downloaded this app, especially it being centered around meditation, who would have thought that I wasn't breathing properly? So I'm curious to know, which is why I asked earlier, how is your breathing? They had this 2-minute exercise called Breathe. So I did it reluctantly. Then after the 2 minutes were over, I realized, OMG, I was not breathing properly this entire time. Even recording this podcast, I'm making sure I'm pausing in between sentences and taking deep breaths. I already feel a lot more calm. But I was surviving off of shallow breathing and maybe just a few deep breaths a day, not a consistent flow of deep breaths. And I mean like deep from your diaphragm. I was all mouth and chest and nose. Like there was no like expansion of my body when I was breathing. And through the Calm app and doing this random breathing exercise for just 2 minutes, it tremendously just changed my whole life. Like, it's like no wonder I was always tired or felt like I had just run a marathon every day, is because my body was trying to find energy in other areas instead of me literally breathing life into myself. I actually did the exercise again just for good measure, and I physically felt a pathway in my diaphragm open up. So in 2 minutes, my life was forever changed and my energy improved significantly. My stress was reduced. I felt more calm and I was able to add another tool into my toolbox of self-care, breathing. So do a free trial, see if your insurance covers the monthly fee or just pay for it. Honestly, it's worth it. I said 5 minutes is all you need to improve your life, and the Calm app said, let me prove you wrong. Hold my beer. I just need 2 minutes. Allow for more stillness and for your body to just recalibrate and process what you're experiencing. You don't have to heal or process everything all at once. Simply just open your mind and heart to be more intentional about acknowledging you may be overwhelmed, or maybe you hate your job, or you need to text your bestie and go out and dance because it's been way too long, right? Because burnout is real. We are human. Life gets the best of us. But if I can do anything for you with this conversation, I would hope that I've at least inspired you to take a step back, pause, and simply check in with yourself today. So take a break. The first step is just to pause, right? It's okay if you're already in the stages of burnout or you feel yourself approaching it, or maybe you just want to prevent it, right? Time management should incorporate taking breaks, an hour, a few days, a vacation. It's okay to disconnect. It's actually important to disconnect from work and give yourself time to recharge and be rejuvenated. And that's how I feel now. I took 4 whole days off. Yes, I had to put in a little extra time before I left, but it was worth it. And being an entrepreneur, we work 24/7. I think I opened my laptop maybe one time and the internet wouldn't connect. So I just took that as a sign to just stop. This isn't a work trip. There's no work to be done at this point in time. It can wait. It can absolutely wait. And I understand that is a luxury to say the work can wait. I get it, but I was intentional with my time prior to leaving, and I was still open to working on the trip, and I'm just grateful that I accepted that it's okay to stop or pause. And communication goes a long way as well. Let your people know you're taking time off, everything is done, to reassure them, and just let it unfold from there. And of course, practicing self-care, we don't want to neglect that. It's important to just prioritize your self-care. Everyone relaxes differently. I love to play basketball, and to me, that relaxes my spirit, my soul, my body. Even though it is a physical activity, I feel more energized after I go play basketball. For some other people, thinking of playing a whole game of basketball or just shooting hoops outside by myself, to them that might seem exhausting or not relaxing at all. But to them, maybe a spa day is relaxing, and for me, a spa day is not relaxing. So define getting to know yourself. What does self-care look like? What is relaxing? How do you define being relaxed? Learn about yourself, learn about your self-care practices, and apply them to your life. Like I said, my definition of relaxation is not the same as your definition. So if you aren't sure what that is in your life, take the time right now. Like I said, 5 minutes can change your whole life. Think of all the times where you were most relaxed outside of sleeping, because that alone could impact your life as well. Are you getting enough sleep? What are you eating? Is what you're eating throughout the day taking up most of your energy? I used to be the type that would always need a snack. And when I mean snack, I meant candy bars, a whole burrito for breakfast. And as much as I love eating burritos and candy and chips and all of those things, I had to accept that they were sucking up my energy, and I needed the most energy in the mornings and afternoons to get a bulk of my work done. And I still apply that mindset right now. So it's a lot of just self-care. It could be the slightest adjustments or the biggest adjustments, but it's mostly just being aware of what you need to do to take care of yourself, especially if you know you have big projects coming up or you have a big vacation coming up and you want to enjoy it as much as possible. So a part of practicing self-care and practicing habits that can help you to be more aware of yourself and just always checking in with yourself is definitely just knowing what your definitions of care, relaxation, healthy eating, healthy habits are. Everyone's different. Everyone's body and mind is different, and we all operate differently. So you have to take care of yourself first before you can go take care of anyone else. Because if I'm suffering, my work is going to suffer. My family life is going to suffer. My friend circle is going to suffer. Everything around me is going to suffer if I'm not taking care of myself. So instead of waiting for, like I said, instead of waiting for those vacations to arrive and me picking up my pile of stress and hoping that this vacation is going to cure it, I would rather take 5 minutes out of my day or 5 hours and allow each action that I take to compound over time. So when it is time to relax and just be on the beach, drinking a pina colada, I can do that with very minimal to no stress or not being consumed with outside parts of life. It's okay to disconnect. Find activities that you enjoy and bring you relaxation. That's also a part of just checking in with yourself and creating those habits. And, I talk about this a lot, but setting boundaries is also important. So if you feel like you're in a place right now where you don't have time to check in with yourself, you don't even have 5 minutes to stop and be still, like, who do I think I am telling people to stop their work life or their personal life to check in with themselves? You don't have to. But for me, this is what works. And oftentimes when I overcommit or I take on too much at once, that's when things start to suffer once again. And if I find myself not communicating to people like, hey, I need your help, or I don't have the capacity to do this project right now, whatever the case may be, or I can't afford to do this right now. Sometimes financially, the decisions we make can cause this spiral of events of burnout or our downfall. It's okay to say no. No is a complete sentence. So wherever you're at in life right now, I just hope you are checking in with yourself and you're prioritizing your own needs and making time for self-care. And self-love. I like this self-love sessions. Maybe I'll make this a series once a month where we do self-love sessions, or maybe I create a private group for us to discuss, ways we can love ourselves better and be more kind to ourselves and show more gratitude for the simple things, and the people in our lives, and really just stripping down all that heaviness and not carrying such big loads of angst and stress and failures or fear, right? We don't have to carry all of that in our lives ever or as often as we do. And I just want everyone listening, if you made it this far, take time for yourself. Check in, show yourself some love. This is a self-love session. In order to be successful in our businesses and in our personal lives, it's important and key to check in with yourself. So take the time, do what you got to do. I hope my tips, what I do, has an impact in your life. And I will keep doing these self-love sessions, whether it's here on the podcast, on YouTube, on social media. I think this is going to be a good thing for all of us, myself included. Like I said, it doesn't require a trip out of the country for you to find your self-love or to find time for yourself. It could be as simple as a 2-minute breathing exercise, 5 minutes of journaling, 5 minutes of gratitude, a 5-minute conversation with an old friend or with a new friend, whatever you have to do, whatever you need in your life at this moment. It's okay to just be still and put yourself first. You are worth it. And that's a fact. So with all of that said, I appreciate you for listening this far into the episode. Head to transactioncarepodcast.com and subscribe to my TC community. I will be making some announcements shortly, or by the time you've listened to this, all the announcements will be announced. And if you want to buy merch and support the brand, go to tccarepackage.com. And honestly, let's say the first 5 people to email or DM me with the subject, let's say t-shirt, I will send you a free t-shirt. First 5 people. Let's go. So head to transactioncarepodcast.com to stream other episodes. I have a lot of great interviews with my coach, with a top producing realtor, with real estate investors that have over 50 doors or have over $50,000 in passive income. So many great conversations. I'm learning a lot through this whole process of having a show. I love it. I absolutely love doing this. Whether it's a solo episode, an interview, a video, whatever the case may be, I love connecting with all of you in any way, shape, or form. And if there is a topic or a person you would like me to interview on the show, do not hesitate to reach out. I promise you, I don't bite. I am a nice person, and I'm open to feedback as well. So if there are areas where you think I need to improve on the show, or like I said, people you would like me to interview, even if it's Oprah, I will do my best and try to get her on the show as well. You can hold me to that. Doesn't hurt, right? I'm gonna shoot my shot. Hey, Oprah. Hey, let's talk. You're my inspiration. You raised me. You're the whole reason my bio says talk show host. So anyway, head to transactioncarepodcast.com. Go run back some old episodes. Let's get those numbers up. I need you guys. I need your support. Like and comment and share on my social media. I am at Transaction Care across all platforms. That is the only social media handle I have for this show, for my business, for transaction coordinator tips, for my YouTube. It's all on one page. I might make a whole separate page just for podcast clips, but just stay tuned. Be on the lookout for that. Until then, but for now, everything is at Transaction Care. Everything is in the description. And if you want to get to know my guests as well, I have a blog site as well on transactioncarepodcast.com/blog, which you can visit. And I really appreciate all of you for listening this far. Like I said, this is a check-in self-love session episode where we just pause for a minute, see how we're doing, reassess, and then just take life on from this new perspective. We're changing and evolving every single day. And if that's something you feel like you aren't capable of doing right now, let's talk. I would love to coach you through that. If you need to set up a consultation, just go to transactioncare.com or DM me, email me directly. All of my information will be in the description below. I am more than willing to help figure out some sort of plan to get you on the right foot. So with all of that said, my name is Lillian Hernandez, aka Lily like the flower. And my goal with each episode is to demystify the business of real estate as told from my point of view, as well as voices within the industry around the world, in hopes to inspire and empower you to start your journey today. Until the next episode, I'm giving you the keys. There are no gatekeepers here. Care for yourself, care for your wealth. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Talk soon.